Hey guys, Cliff Olson, Doctor of Audiology and founder of Applied Hearing Solutions in Phoenix, Arizona, and in this video, I'm doing a detailed review of the WUSH Powered Ear Cleaner. Coming up. Anytime a new at-home earwax removal system hits the market, I get extremely excited because as an audiologist, I would love nothing more than to have every single one of my patients come into my clinic with clean ear canals so I don't have to clean their ears for them. Excessive earwax buildup is a huge issue. Approximately 12 million individuals in the United States alone seek out medical care for excessive earwax buildup annually, and 8 million of those individuals need professional earwax removal. Given that this is such a huge problem, it would probably be a very good idea for you to do something to manage your own earwax buildup. At this point, I've probably reviewed over 20 different at-home earwax removal tools and products, but I've been patiently waiting for an affordable at-home powered earwax irrigation tool to hit the market. Well, we may actually have a good option for this because we now have the WUSH at-home power ear cleaner. But before we get into the review of the WUSH powered ear cleaner, if you could do me a huge favor and click the like button, it really helps out my channel because it gets these videos in front of a bigger audience. And while you're at it, if you have not yet hit that subscribe button with notification bell, go ahead and do that as well because that ensures that you never miss one of my newly released videos. All right, a few quick disclaimers before I get into the review of this particular product. First, I am an audiologist, and inside of my clinic, we do professional earwax removal, even though I would prefer to never have to clean out another ear canal over the course of the rest of my career. And the second disclaimer is, if you have a perforation, meaning a hole inside of your eardrum, you do not want to do any form of at-home irrigation or professional irrigation for that matter. It will be extremely painful and you will hate yourself. And third, this is not a sponsored video. I am not being compensated in any way, shape, or form from the particular company that manufactures this product, just like I'm not compensated by any company when I'm doing a review of their products. The WUSH Powered Ear Cleaner is a pretty sleek looking device if you ask me, and it is designed to perform irrigation and actually flush earwax out of your ears using water. You can find them online for about 60 to 75 bucks, and I will have a link down in the description as well as the comments if you want to check one out for yourself. In addition to the actual device, it does come with 6 additional ear tips that are reusable, and it comes with an ear basin that you actually can hold underneath your ear if you're flushing out your ear when you're not in the shower or over the sink. A really nice thing is that you do not have to replace the batteries inside of this. It actually uses a rechargeable lithium battery, and you can see that it uses a USB-C port on the back, which is very universal. You also have the ability to control the pressure of this with a low, medium, and high level water pressure. Now, the ear tips that are on this thing actually direct water outwards. So there's actually 3 little holes here that will direct it towards your ear canal wall, so it's not shooting straight at your eardrum or straight down the center of your ear canal. I really like this particular feature of the ear tips, but the thing I don't like about the ear tips is that if you really want to use this to annoy your family and friends by turning this into a little squirt gun, it's not going to work that well. I've got to say that the WUSH is actually built pretty well. I've been using this thing for the past several weeks, and it seems to be very durable, and it hasn't quit on me yet. The nozzle on this thing actually retracts back into the device, which makes it really easy to store, and you don't have to worry about breaking this off, which would obviously destroy the unit. Now let me show you the back of this thing one more time because I want to make sure you understand what all of this stuff is for. So like I mentioned earlier, that's the USB-C port. The button that's right below that is the power button if you want to turn it on. There you go. And then the button below that is a little bit smaller, but that controls the power level of the pressure. So if that dot is on the very bottom, that's the lowest pressure. If you click it again, it goes to medium pressure. You click it again, it goes to the highest pressure. I guess it would be kind of nice to have those dots all fill in and stay there, but honestly, you're not even really switching between pressure levels until it's inside your ear, so you're only doing this based off of feel anyway. Now, when you have this inside of your ears and you're actually selecting through these different pressure levels, it's kind of hard for you to tell which button that you're on just based off of feeling it. You want to make sure that you're clicking the button that is on the bottom, not the button that is on the top. I imagine this could be difficult for some people. Now, on the very bottom of the device, it actually has a basin right here to fill up with water. Now, it doesn't take that much water, but you can fill it up either by opening up this little port right there, or I prefer to actually just slide this off and fill it up in the sink. It's a much easier way to make sure that you get it completely filled, and then it's just very simple to slide it right back on and you're ready to go. It's likely that they kept this basin a little bit smaller to make sure that this device did not get to be a huge size, which is actually kind of nice because you don't want this thing to be absolutely massive when you're using it or when you're storing it. And to be fair, they do explain in the instructions that you'll probably have to fill that basin up a few times as you're irrigating your ears out. They also recommend using ear drops like Earwax MD that I'll also link in the description in order for you to break up dry impacted earwax inside of your ear canals before you start performing irrigation. As for how effective this tool is at removing earwax, I once again enlisted the help of my friend Heather, who's a retired nurse practitioner, to see how good this product really did at removing the earwax from her ear canals. And here's how it went. Right off the bat, we performed a video otoscopy to see how much earwax she had, and we found a moderate amount of wax in both ears, which is typical for her after about 6 months without cleaning. We filled up the device with warm tap water and had Heather flush out her ear canal with the water falling into the basin that came with the device. Operation of the WUSH was easy enough for Heather, and she reported the triple stream of water was very comfortable, as well as the feel of the rubber ear tips inside of her ear canal. We did notice that the included black water basin was incredibly small and barely fit all of the water from the irrigator. I would actually recommend that you get a larger basin or just do this in the shower or over the sink. We were really hoping that it would only take one ear cleaning to get all of the earwax out of her ear canals, but this is really how it went. We weren't successful at getting all of the earwax out, but we could see that we were starting to break down the earwax. So we did like the instructions suggested and completed a few more rounds of irrigation. What we found is that most of the earwax was gone, but it had trouble flushing out the dead skin cells from Heather's ear.
Well,
it's just the dead skin that's in there. Ultimately, I had to go into her ear canals with a curette just to finish off all of the cleaning, but if you ask me, I think it did a pretty decent job. So the feedback that Heather gave me after whooshing out her ear canals is that it was very comfortable for her to use. She was never worried that it was gonna create enough pressure to, rupture her eardrum or anything like that. But she actually wished it had a little bit more water pressure because it wasn't enough to get those dead skin cells out of her ear canals. Even though I like that it has a triple stream of water that orients the direction of that water towards the ear canal walls and not towards the eardrum itself, it does come at a cost of reducing the water pressure. If this just had a single jet coming out of the center of it, I would bet that the water pressure would be much better. In fact, the professional irrigation tool that we use inside of the clinic uses significantly more water pressure, and it does come directly out of the center of the ear tip as we're using it, but we can direct that pressure towards the canal wall and not directly at the eardrum, so it's still safe. I wouldn't recommend that you use that much pressure at home from any at-home irrigation tool. We did use Earwax MD ear softening ear drops in her opposite ear, just like the instructions recommended for impacted earwax, and that did break down the earwax better, so we didn't have to do as many rounds of irrigation with the WUSH. It does give you similar results as the squirt bottles that you can use to flush earwax out of your ears, but it's more convenient because you can just power it up and you don't have to constantly sit there and squirt water inside your ears. It does it all for you. So overall, what are my thoughts about the WUSH Powered Ear Cleaner? Well, honestly, I like the product. I think it's a good product for the price that you pay. I think it's as effective as some of the more effective at-home earwax removal products, particularly the earwax irrigation systems that you can purchase that are more of like a squirt bottle that you squirt inside of your ears. I think it's super simple to use. The only real critique that I have is that the basin is kind of on the small side, but I understand that they probably did that so they didn't have to sacrifice having a bigger size of a product. And I don't like how close the power button and the pressure mode button are together. I think that it would have been much easier to differentiate between the two by separating them out a little bit more, because I do think that that will confuse some people. Personally, I love the idea of doing something at home to try to keep your earwax under control, considering that it's such a huge problem. That being said, if you want one of the more effective ways to do some at-home earwax removal, go ahead and grab yourself a WUSH, grab yourself some Earwax MD ear drops, and go ahead and give it a try.